Good evening, friends. Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore here with some breaking news. I hope this works. Yes, as you can see in the video, looks like that congressional bill to fund Ukraine and a lot of let's just say, military shenanigans across the world, including Thailand, and I think some money's going to Israel, has been approved. But of course, this is Tim Kirby Russia, not Tim Kirby Israel. So I'm mostly concerned with the whole Ukraine side of things. You saw at the beginning of the video here, if we can go back, this video comes from Al Jazeera. Oh, look at those, look at that flag waving. Yeah, look at those flags. Everybody's going to get their bribe money. Ooh, look at that. Wave that flag, baby, because the Ukrainian flag is the symbol of bribery. So anyways, I've seen online a lot of discussion of this particular issue, and I think it stands to break it down. First off, the too long didn't read version of this video is I'm going to tell you that I don't think that this was super critical, okay? For in terms of what's going to happen in the war, because ultimately it's what, like 61 billion dollars divided amongst various different locations, and as we all know, a lot of this money is going to get skimmed off the top, and money doesn't necessarily mean trained soldiers or guns or airplanes, especially if the money is being used to fund the production of said weapons, which can't be made tomorrow. You know, the military-industrial complex, despite its big, fat, bloated nature, actually works very, very inefficiently. So again, like I've read things basically online, some opinions that say stuff like, well, look at that. They're going to cause millions more to die because of this. The war will be prolonged into 2026. And it's like, no, because like you said, this money isn't going to be able to resurrect the dead. Sorry for being a little crude there, but that's the reality of things. It's not going to be able to create this force that ultimately changes the destiny of the war or really prolongs things an entire year. It's not going to turn back the clock to give Ukraine the military it had 2 years ago, or maybe even one-ish year ago, before the counteroffensive. So that sort of scale of reasoning I disagree with. The other one that I don't really agree with is that, like, someone was like, aha, now this is going to bind Trump's hands because when he gets in office, he's going to have to obey this financing bill. Well, true. When this goes across Biden's desk, then I highly doubt he's going to veto this. Yes, I mean, it would be binding for President Trump as the executive to, let's just say, follow the will of the people on this issue. But remember, again, this is $61 billion, and it's going to get spent, and it's going to get burnt through, and who knows, if the money gets actually used efficiently, by the time the weapons get there, the war might already be over. And the question is, if you look at certain weapon systems, like your good old-fashioned Patriot missiles, or that Death Trap, the Bradley armored fighting vehicle, it will not matter at all if those weapons actually get there. So I don't think it's that. It's maybe it's technically true that it could wind up being somewhat binding, but like, the president is essentially the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. If push comes to shove and Trump really does want to do something in a more fantastical, radical, loud-mouthed way, if he wants to end this war, it'll get ended. If he wants to do some kind of like symbolic pullout or something, he can do it. Will the people underneath him actually execute that order? I don't know, but it's not going to be a matter of, I'll put it this way, this real estate billionaire, orange-haired man who's been put through the ringer, do you really think that some sort of like bureaucratic little thin bureaucratic invisible chains are going to keep him from doing what he wants to do? If he wants to do this thing, he's going to do it. Will he be threatened with perhaps being JFK'd? Will he actually sort of have the cojones to stand up to the military-industrial complex in such a dumb, blunt way? I don't know. Maybe that might not even be in his best interests, but I don't think that this whole aid package is going to be this mechanism to completely control Trump. I don't think that that's the case. I think the mechanism that really controlled Trump was the constant assault by the entire mainstream media, which essentially always gave this sort of like rubber stamp of approval to any sort of nonsense, like the whole Russiagate thing, which was never proven, by the way, and whatever else, any sort of accusation against Trump, anything bad about Trump, immediately goes into the mainstream media, said as if it's a proven true fact. That's something that I think can really bind a president's hands with invisible chains. Not so much aid packages that are, I guess, binding. So yeah, those kind of opinions were kind of out of there. My own opinion, like I kind of said, is I'm in the school of thought of the too little, too late. But more so than anything, I think honestly, it's all just going to get stolen. This is all just corrupto money, and it's another reason why they've plinked around with the idea of stealing Russia's assets for a long time. And maybe now that it seems like the war is going to come closer and closer to it, basically, I don't think that these politicians in the EU or the United States are going to be able to resist stealing all of Russia's frozen assets. I think they might already be stolen, but let's just say they're not. Before the war ends, they're going to do it. They are going to go on a stealing stuff rampage. Because I don't know if the Western politicians really understand the ship is sinking, but I definitely know they want to line their pockets now while they can. Because who knows what or where the next big profitable war for the military-industrial complex will be at. Some people think Taiwan. Perhaps if the West wasn't completely tied up with Ukraine, they could make a lot of money off of helping their buddy Israel with the Palestinian problem. Who knows? But yeah. So, anyways, with this aid package, I don't. Well, first off, I think the fact that it was insanely delayed may have made it maybe one of the reasons why it's not as viable. That is, again, if any of the money actually goes to where it is supposed to go. But yeah, I think that this one it's kind of a nothing burger, and it's not going to change the ultimate destiny of the war. And I highly doubt that the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I highly doubt that Medvedev is just holding a shaking, like, shot glass of vodka with a tear running down his face, going, "No, I can't believe they approved the 61 billion." I really doubt that is the case, guys. That is not what happened, and it is not going to have a major effect on the war. Is it something of note? Yes. Does it mean, what's his name, Johnson, or Speaker of the House, or whatever? Did he basically fight, then give up? Yes, he sure did. But that's the Washington spirit. If you look at pretty much every war after World War II, there's a lot of fight, then give up. So, yeah. Why do French people get this rumor for giving up? Because, the Korean War was a stalemate, and then Vietnam was a loss, and the Iraq War both Iraq wars were a initial military victory followed by a terrible occupation that ultimately failed. Afghanistan was a loss. It looks like the proxy war against Russia is going to be a loss. Well, maybe helping the Mujahideen, who did all the fighting, was a win. But yeah, ultimately, yeah. Why do the French get all the blame, guys? Why do the French get the blame for giving up? I think their record is much better.